that the women need to concentrate to balance these baskets?
Discussions for Learning gives teachers the tools to help students learn to reason, a key principle of the Common Core state standards across the curriculum.
They are. A lot of knowledge about kids as language users and language learners that we have, but is really not tapped in most school curricula. And so what we brought together in this is rich content, incredible images for kids to think with and to think about, and then support for teachers to open up the conversation and to invite kids in and to believe that they are powerful reasoners and are powerful thinkers, which they are. And so teachers, just by using the script, are getting a sense of what it means to lead this discussion where the kids are really providing the meat, the ideas, the connections. The kind of discussion skills that teachers are developing or are using and expanding by doing discussions for learning are exactly the kinds of discussions, these academically productive discussions, that they have to do in math, in English language arts, in science. They're at the core of the Common Core and the next generation science standards. So you're building facility in both teachers and kids to do the kind of discussion that is absolutely going to be required in order to have kids develop the kind of intellectual practices and knowledge that they're expected to develop. The research that's been done is impressive, that teachers use this program over not even a very long period of time. And kids' language and language learning, vocabulary acquisition, expressive and receptive language develop. And there's a test called the Peabody Picture Vocabulary Test that is a pretty standard early childhood assessment of kids' language. And it's a very, very hard assessment to get any kind of change. It's not, you can't teach to it because you're assessing lots of different words. You can't teach the kid. I mean, if you teach kids certain words, yeah, they'll know those words. But this is a test that just tests general vocabulary knowledge. This program, over maybe a couple of months, shows big gains in the Peabody Picture Vocabulary Test. It's unheard of. So there was a kid in her class, in her first grade. Actually, he came in as the lowest performing kid, way below grade level. And he struggled in everything, in math, in reading, in writing, and he hardly ever talked. And she assumed, he was an English language learner, and she assumed he didn't have the background knowledge. He didn't have the vocabulary. He hadn't had the experiences that other kids had had. And it wasn't until discussions for learning that this kid just had incredible things to say. He was constantly volunteering. It's almost as if something was unleashed in him. I would say he's probably a leader in discussions for learning. He has consistently really interesting and really deep things to say. And this was a kid who almost never spoke. So the payoff is huge, and teachers love it. Teachers find it really fun.